Are you a brand new DM looking for a campaign to run?
Today we're taking a look at the Lost Mines of Phandelver, the adventure module from the Dungeons & Dragons starter set. Hi, I'm Monty Martin.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin.
And we are the Dungeon Dudes.
On today's show, we're actually going to be taking an in-depth look at the adventure module that comes in the starter set, The Lost Mines of Phandelver.
This was the very first adventure that came out for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So it's geared towards first level characters, and the adventure runs upwards of 5th level. It will take you anywhere in the range of about 8 to 10 game sessions to complete, which can be anywhere from 2 months to a whole year of game time, depending on how often you play.
Awesome. Let's dig in.
So Kelly, what's the general overview of Lost Mines of Phandelver?
So Lost Mines of Phandelver is a beginner campaign that starts you at first level, being hired as a group of heroes that are protecting a caravan. As you're going on the road, you find out that the person who hired you has actually been kidnapped. And following certain leads through the adventure, you discover a plot at hand about a old mysterious mine that nobody's discovered for years, but it seems that there are some evil characters after the magical powers hidden inside this mine.
There's some really classic events that happen in this campaign. It starts you off with a really simple introductory classic goblin cave to explore and interact with in many different ways. Eventually introducing you to a small town, a variety of dungeon environments, an encounter with a ferocious green dragon, which is right on the cover of the starter set. It's a pretty great and straightforward adventure to run.
Yeah, it's simple for a first-time DM, but also entertaining for everybody involved. I've played through it, and I've ran it a few times, and it's just really fun to go from location to location and see basically everything that D&D 5th edition has to offer in a small campaign.
Yeah, and as a small campaign, you can run it in the Forgotten Realms, which is the default assumption for the campaign, but because it really isn't connected to a wider world, it's a very local story, it's very easy to drop the Lost Mines of Phandelver into your own homebrew setting, or move it into Greyhawk, Eberron, the Worlds of Dragonlance, or wherever you'd like to set the adventure. It is very local, and your characters and players will get the experience of becoming the local heroes in this campaign.
Which is also great because it's level 1 to 5. When you're finished this campaign, you can easily merge this into a bigger world setting or bigger campaign.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of the other adventure modules that have come out for 5th edition have advice on how to kind of bridge from Lost Mines of Phandelver into the other later adventure modules. How do you find running it?
I have had a great time running it, and I've actually found I've ran it a few times, and very different things happen in every time that I've ran it. And
yeah.
Each time I read one of the sections of the book, there's just so much to explore and to do. There's a ruined town, an old castle, the creepy mine, the goblin cave at the beginning is fantastic. It's a great place to start.
Yeah, and because you might look at the adventure on paper and be like, this is really cliche stuff. And that's actually one of the strengths of the module, because it really delivers on the stereotypical classic Dungeons & Dragons experience, which actually is a strength of the module, not a weakness at all. It means that the player's creativity gets to be front and center, and it allows your players to be like, oh, I know this situation. This is a dragon in a ruined town, or this is an old dwarven mine, or this is a tribe of goblins. And so they get to experience firsthand how they would act in those situations, rather than really having to worry about a grand conspiracy or a great mystery. Although there is one in there, right?
Yeah. I also really like the social aspects of the town that they created. My players have had a lot of fun talking to the different individuals in the town, getting hints and tips or little side quests from them. I had a lot of fun running the town, and I had a lot of fun with the NPCs that were involved as well.
It's also a really easy campaign to manage, because every chapter and section of the booklet gives you everything you need to run that section. A lot of the more advanced modules require a lot of cross-referencing across different parts of the module, which is not really necessary in Lost Mines of Phandelver. I found that it's quite literally the type of module that you can pick it up 30 minutes before the game session starts and just be able to read along with it and run it, which is not something you can do with a lot of other adventure modules.
Yeah, so it's an incredible first module for any DM that's looking to get started.
Yeah, and for players, it is pretty easy and straightforward to manage, but the first level characters can be very fragile, especially in that early goblin cave where there are some secret threats.
Yeah, so watch out for those.
Yeah.
So the campaign module, The Lost Mines of Phandelver, is an excellent place to start if you're a brand new DM or a new player in Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, it's filled with classic archetypes that let you explore really what people love about Dungeons & Dragons for the first time, and in a $20 starter set, you really can't go wrong. That said, if you're a more experienced Dungeon Master and you would like to try something a little bit more in-depth, a little bit more complicated, and certainly a lot more deadly than The Lost Mines of Phandelver, you should check out our video on the latest D&D adventure module, The Tomb of Annihilation. That's available right here.
And if you don't like the pre-made characters in the starter set and want to watch a video on how to create one yourself, you can check that out right over here.
If you like what we're doing, you can support our channel by becoming a patron right down below.
Subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time
In the dungeon.